made by Australia.
When you achieve more with less, you manage to change the world. Silestone is made with low silica, renewable energy and recycled materials. Bring your dream home to life. The first low silica, high performance mineral surface. Do things in a different way. It's what's beneath the surface that makes the world of difference. Silestone is moving forward. More sustainable, low silica, high performance. Join the low silica revolution. Full range available now. Silestone by Cosentino.
Now you can easily bring your projects to life with Dulux BIM Solutions. Dulux BIM Solutions provides easy-to-use BIM content, so you can add Dulux colours and product ranges to your Revit and ArchiCAD models quickly and simply. The latest Dulux BIM content update now includes the Dulux World of Colour and product ranges from Dulux Powder Coatings, Dulux Protective Coatings, Dulux Acrotex, Dulux Avista and Intergrain Timber Finishes. Dulux BIM Solutions, inspiring creativity.
When you hear the word heritage, what comes to mind? You might be thinking of old buildings, the wonders of the natural world, or the cufflinks left to you by your legendary great-granddad. The truth is, heritage can be all these things and more. Heritage is what we inherit and also choose to protect and celebrate. Determining what heritage is important enough to protect is a complex process, but it's essential work because heritage belongs to all of us. For more information about Victorian heritage and how it is protected, see the Heritage Information Pack accompanying this video.
An award-winning Tasmanian winery has rethought the Salador experience with the aid of a carbon-neutral brick.
The material palette was selected to respond to the way that Lou and Joe make their wine, which they're all about being as natural and being as authentic as possible. When we were picking materials, we wanted that and a response to the Tasmanian context and a way to sort of ground a small building in the landscape.
approached to see if we could help Dave and Barbara with their new home. It was an immediate yes. Being part of the community is stitched into Taubman's DNA, and we'll do what we can where we can to help. Dave and Barbara have fostered 400 children in the last 27 years, so we obviously needed a really robust product. We used Taubman's Endure, which is a water-based low VOC product that has been approved by the National Asthma Council of Australia's Sensitive Choice program.
The 2023 Victorian Architecture Awards are proudly supported by the Australian Institute of Architects National Corporate Partners, Taubman's, Alspec, BlueScope, Lysart, Fielders, Dulux, Brickworks, Bondorma Techno, SMEG, Planned Cover, Architecture Media and the Image Makers Association, as well as chapter partners Polestar, About Space, Batesmart, City of Melbourne, Cosentino, Hames Paint, Heritage Council of Victoria, Littlehampton Bricks and Pavers, Mackay Timber, Office of the Victorian Government Architect, Partridge, University of Melbourne, Victoria Wood and Creffield Digital Printing. For over 40 years, the Australian Institute of Architects has upheld excellence across the profession. The Institute recognises and celebrates all efforts of our members, projects and teams in shaping communities through inspirational architecture across Australia and overseas. Welcome to the 2023 Victorian Architecture Awards.
Good evening everyone and welcome to what is an incredibly special event tonight. On behalf of the team, all of us at the Institute of Architects, an incredibly warm welcome to the 2023 Victorian Architecture Awards. Right, for those of you who don't know me, I know most of you. I think I know pretty much everyone in this room. My name is Michael Linke. I'm the General Manager of Membership at the Institute here in Melbourne. And it's my very great privilege to be your host here for the evening. So good to see so many of you here with us tonight. We have over 1,000 people in this room and 940 who haven't taken their seats. So please, if I can just get you to sit down. This is a really special night, our biggest event ever. with so many people here tonight, and we have had a record number of entries into this year's Architecture Awards program here in Victoria, and so you are in for a massive treat. Tonight we meet on the lands of the Wurundjeri people, of course, of the Kulin Nation, and I acknowledge with very deep respect the traditional owners of the land. They belong to the oldest continuing culture in the world. They cared and protected country for thousands of years, and we acknowledge that it is an absolute privilege to stand on country as well and walk in the footsteps of those that have gone before us. We pay our respects, of course, to elders past, present and emerging, and also to the wider Aboriginal community that do continue to care for country, as well as the traditional owners of the lands on which all of our projects that we'll see tonight are featured. At the Institute of Architects, we very much stand for a future that profoundly respects Indigenous perspectives, culture, language and history, and a very continued effort to fight for Aboriginal justice and rights, which pave the way to a very strong future. Ladies and gentlemen, please be respectful and welcome to the stage from the Wurundjeri Woiwurrung Cultural Heritage Aboriginal Corporation to offer a welcome to country. Please make welcome the wonderful Daniel Ross.
Thank you, Michael. Michael made reference that he was trying to get home by 12 o'clock. And I normally get told I've got 5 minutes for my welcome. I should be finished my welcome by 12 o'clock. Sorry, Michael. The other is, he likes standing behind a lectern, and I don't like lecterns. So I'm going to walk away from it, because the theory behind that is, how do I welcome people into my home, my ancestors' home, behind a barrier, behind a closed door? It's almost impossible. My name is Daniel Ross, and I'm a proud Wurundjeri man. And today you meet on the homes of my ancestors, my home. And we've been here since the beginning of time. And Bunjil is our creator, the wedge-tailed eagle. He created everything we see, from the stars in the sky to the roots of the trees in the ground. Like our knowledge systems, our knowledge systems weave through the landscape, through millennia, like a gum tree. And for those that understand a gum tree, they share their resources from the waterway throughout. Bunjil taught us how to listen, how to care to one another, to country. And what does that mean? It's not throwing grass seed out and hoping it doesn't rain so we can mow it on Sunday, but understanding when we could take food. And one of those examples would be when we're away from the city lights, you can see the Milky Way. You can make out an emu, and when the emu stood up, we could take the egg. But as we traverse around the sun, the emu lays down on the horizon, which means to us the father's gone to nest, and we don't take the egg anymore. Another is a season called Porneet, and Porneet's a tough season to talk about. It closely aligns with spring, except we have 6 seasons and not 4. And when the wattle blooms, we pause and we check in on our old people. Last year when the wattles bloomed, we lost Uncle Archie Roach, Uncle Jack Charles, Auntie Margaret Gardner, to name a few. But as tough as that season is to talk about, we see yam daisies coming to flower, tadpoles in ponds, fresh new beginnings everywhere we look. 235 years ago, though, everything we knew would change. Is it for better? I'm undecided, but we're here. What was home wouldn't be home anymore. Not too far from here, the MCG was once a place of song, dance, ceremony, decimated for a sporting field. The Birrarung, which is not too far from here, was a lifeline, the Yarra River, the River of Mist. We understood how to listen, how to care. It was bright blue once upon a time, crystal clear. It's not like it looks today, covered and rewritten with bluestone. We were forced off home to places like Bollambol and Billabong. Then the squatters said, these fellas are getting fat. They took that off us too. And then they established Coranderrk, the mission. Coranderrk's known as Healesville in modern day Victoria. At Healesville, at Coranderrk, Uncle Billabulary negotiated our first treaty with John Batman. 12 axes, a few bags of rice, and a couple of blankets. The Crown ripped it up. Us natives weren't worth that much. But at that were two little fellas, Uncle Simon Wonga and Uncle William Barak. And if you're lucky enough to visit the shrine and look towards Carlton, you'll see Uncle Barak's face standing over 30 stories tall, overlooking country today. Now that is an architectural feat that I would like to see again. More of our old people filling up their entire facades of buildings overlooking the landscape. Uncle Barak held a special place in my heart, not only because he advocated tirelessly for all the Victorians, but he took on battles in the mission. We weren't allowed to speak our native tongue, but we had to learn to read and write English before we could get a paycheck. So for people here who speak a language other than English, please, I implore you to teach your children, because losing language is an absolute travesty to identity and to the fabric of who we all are. Uncle Barak gave my great-grandmother the tribal name, Bulum Bulum, white butterfly. We're about 4 weeks late, but if you think back, they were in abundance. Some people would complain they were in their veggie garden, others would stop and watch them in awe. They're gentle, caring, nurturing. The old people have a way of knowing. Nan was instrumental in opening the first health service for Aboriginal people right here in Victoria. 1967, we had a referendum and we voted yes. Aboriginal people are human. It's only just over 50 years ago. I'll tell you a side story. Please don't throw things at me. I had to do a welcome at a religious institution and I invited them to the train of thought that baby Jesus was black. Their reception, I didn't think I was going to get out, I'm not going to lie. But context to everything. The First Testament's 6,000 years old. They hide baby Jesus in Egypt for over a month. Fair little white boy in country of colour, still in 2023, he would have been a prized possession. But we've got places right here on Gunditj Mara country, down on the southwest coast, that have human occupation at over 120,000 years and counting. Wow. We're slowly letting science catch up to our stories that have been here since the beginning of time. Not long after the referendum, I started school as a proud little Aboriginal boy, wanting to share my stories that I'd learnt from aunties, uncles, my grandparents. Except my first day in school was traumatic. I had my identity stolen from me. I was told I wasn't Aboriginal because I was white. I went home broken. As a 5-year-old asking, had my family lied to me? Who was I? My grandfather sat me down and explained to me the reason that I was fair-skinned and my cousins weren't was because I was born in the daytime and they were born at night. But as we grew up, the truth come out, and we're always encouraged not to date other Indigenous boys and girls purely because we never knew where our family was dispossessed when we were forced off what was home. We're one of the lucky ones at Wurundjeri that we've come back together, and modern day Wurundjeri is made up of 3 family groups, the Wandans, the Nevans and the Terriks. There's a lot of First Nations throughout the country though that are still deprived of this privilege of knowing who their family are. I'd like to pay my respects to my elders, past and present. I'd like to pause though and pay my respects to you and acknowledge and pay my respects to your elders past and present also, and to any other First Nations here today. Woman Jika Wurundjeri Bulak, Yemen Gundibik. In the Woiwurrung language, I said, welcome to the traditional lands of the Wurundjeri people. Our traditional lands go west to the Werribee River, north to the Great Divide, east to Mount Borbor, and south to Mordialloc Creek. Nun Godjin, thank you.
I hate lecterns as well, so I'm not going to use it either. Until I need to look at my notes, which is not now, because thank you very much for that, Daniel. That was a lovely welcome, and thank you for your kindness to us in coming tonight to share your experiences. It's quite moving. Ladies and gentlemen, what we're going to do now is we're going to hear from our president. The president here in Victoria effectively represents the profession around really to the media and is the face of the architectural industry right across the state of Victoria. And we have the pleasure tonight of having our Victorian president here. So please make welcome to the stage, ladies and gentlemen, our Victorian chapter president, David Wagner.
So use this. Thank you very much. I don't mind the lectern. Good evening, and thank you, Michael. Thank you, Daniel, for that really insightful welcome. It was spectacular. Welcome to the 2023 Victorian Architecture Awards. The Uluru Statement from the Heart is a culmination of 13 regional dialogues with First Nations people, which first arrived at a consensus about what constitutional recognition should look like. The statement is an invitation from First Nations people to all Australians. One of its key features is to ask Australians to support meaningful constitutional recognition through providing a First Nations voice. Whether or not people choose to vote in favour of the voice is a matter for each individual. Yet the statement from the heart is the instigator for the upcoming referendum, and for some, it still remains unread. So to ensure members have been exposed to this piece of writing, this historic invitation, we're going to share it with you tonight.
Uluru Statement from the Heart. We, gathered at the 2017 National Constitutional Convention, coming from all points of the southern sky, make this statement from the heart. Our Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander tribes were the first sovereign nations of the Australian continent and its adjacent lands, and possessed it under our own laws and customs. This our ancestors did according to the reckoning of our culture from the creation, according to the common law from time immemorial, and according to science more than 60,000 years ago. This sovereignty is a spiritual notion, the ancestral tie between the land or Mother Nature and the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples who were born therefrom, remain attached thereto, and must one day return thither to be united with our ancestors. This link is the basis of the ownership of the soil, or better, of sovereignty. It has never been ceded or extinguished, and coexists with the sovereignty of the Crown. How could it be otherwise, that people possessed a land for 60 millennia and this sacred link disappears from world history in merely the last 200 years? With substantive constitutional change and structural reform, we believe this ancient sovereignty can shine through as a fuller expression of Australia's nationhood. Proportionally, we are the most incarcerated people on the planet. We are not an innately criminal people. Our children are aliened from their families at unprecedented rates. This cannot be because we have no love for them. And our youth languish in detention in obscene numbers. They should be our hope for the future. These dimensions of our crisis tell plainly the structural nature of our problem. This is the torment of our powerlessness. We seek constitutional reforms to empower our people to take a rightful place in our own country. When we have power over our destiny, our children will flourish. They will walk in two worlds, and their culture will be a gift to their country. We call for the establishment of a First Nations voice enshrined in the Constitution. Makarrata is the culmination of our agenda, the coming together after a struggle. It captures our aspirations to a fair and truthful relationship with the people of Australia and a better future for our children based on justice and self-determination. We seek a Makarrata Commission to supervise the process of agreement making between governments and First Nations and truth-telling about our history. In 1967, we were counted. In 2017, we seek to be heard. We leave base camp and start our trek across this vast country. We invite you to walk with us in a movement of the Australian people for a better future.
So a special thank you to Sarah Lynn Rees, one of our colleagues that many of you know, who is involved in that and is on our First Nations Advisory Committee. Now, further to the presentation, and as you may have heard, guided by the First Nations Advisory Committee, our Institute's Board, National Council, and this week, the Victorian Chapter Council, have as leadership teams resolved to endorse the yes vote for the upcoming referendum on the First Nations voice to Parliament. We recognise it is every member's duty and responsibility to consider the issues, discuss and to vote with their conscience. The chapter will shortly host a webinar available to all by a First Nations elder to provide an opportunity to hear more about these topics, to promote understanding, informed discussion and answer queries members might have. We perceive this referendum not to be about partisan politics, but about egalitarianism, human rights and the next step in our community's recognition, empowerment and embracing of our First Nations peoples. Now, I know we're all keen to get the announcements going, but I'd like to make a couple of other comments about some of the things that the Institute is currently undertaking. As has been evident through our sustainability checklist in our awards program, designing for an environmentally sustainable future is a significant policy direction of the Institute. In Victoria, we have been hosting monthly webinars focused on reducing our carbon footprint, minimising the utilisation of non-renewable resources and building resilience into our construction technologies that augurs for a sustainable future. These webinars, free to members, have attracted greater attendance across Australia than any previous Institute webinars that we've had. And we're planning to continue with these month on month and as we build further our professional skill sets to the benefit of our community. We are grateful to the members and allied professionals who have been leading the way by investigating and comprehending the science of sustainability and then so willing to distribute that knowledge through mediums such as the leading webinars. Yesterday saw the relaunch in Melbourne of the Architects Assist program, a program designed to assist communities that have been impacted by natural disasters to help rebuild homes, schools, shops, offices and towns. This is not just about connecting architects to stricken communities to help them rebuild better, but it's about training architects to be able to design with resilience in environments liable to disasters such as flood, bushfire, cyclone, with an understanding and sensitivity to the trauma that people in these communities have suffered. These are areas where our profession is making a difference and building a brighter future for all Victorians. I would like to recognise and thank both our supportive Institute staff who are with us every step of the way and underpin our activities, but also importantly to recognise and acknowledge and thank the many members who have or are continuing to volunteer at many levels to enable programs such as these to exist and flourish. Whether it's presenting webinars, organising events, undertaking pro bono work, reviewing contracts, preparing advisory notes, or in the myriad of committees or representational bodies that advocate for a better, more considered built environment, thank you to all those who have demonstrated extracurricular activity, energy, responsibility and consideration to enhance and shape our profession in its role in the community. Finally, I would like to thank everyone who has contributed to this year's Victorian Awards program, to the 249 entrants across 15 categories who put their work forward to be interrogated and assessed by their peers, to the 60 volunteer jurors who have given tirelessly over a period of 5 months. Chair of Juries Ingrid Backer for her expertise and calm leadership, as well as Victorian Chapter's Awards Committee led by Simon Knott. Chapter staff, and specifically Dylan Borg and Robin Frank, who have coordinated a massive program. So thank you to all of you. Finally, a big thank you to our partners, without whom the National Awards program would not be possible. We will all be hearing from our category partners throughout the night. A special thank you to Polestar, so this year's inaugural Awards Night Majors partner, for joining with the Institute to promote an agenda for a sustainable future. I'd now like to welcome to the stage Samantha Johnson, Managing Director of Polestar, to say a few words.
Good evening, everyone. It gives me great pleasure to be here with you this evening on behalf of Polestar. Polestar is a luxury electric vehicle brand centred around design, innovation and sustainability. These core pillars are closely aligned with the companies and products being awarded tonight. It is at the design phase that we seek solutions to create luxury electric vehicles that are innovative in features and functionality, connectivity, safety and sustainability, whilst ensuring that we have an inclusive and ethical supply chain. Polestar has a commitment to provide and produce a climate-neutral car by 2030 and to be a climate-neutral company by 2040. When designing our future vehicles for sustainability, we use natural fibres, recycled materials and other circular innovations to reduce the carbon footprint of our cars. Circularity of our products is at the core of Polestar, and it's great to see other industries such as yourselves embracing the need for more urgent solutions to reduce emissions. I'd like to congratulate all of you here tonight who have been nominated and shortlisted for these prestigious architectural awards. These projects have all made a meaningful contribution to the evolving tapestry of the Victorian architecture, along with the communities who enjoy these developments. What struck me as I looked through the finalists was how elements of minimalistic design, a hallmark of Polestar's own design language, has been embraced in these projects. The use of light and natural finishes in particular deliver a sense of tranquility to these environments. It was also pleasing to see the Green Star energy ratings have been achieved, and that green infrastructure is a focus for architectural works. Elevating sustainable building practices and materials and developing regenerative sites with healthy and more efficient buildings is absolutely where the industry, as a collective, needs to focus its attention. We know from our sustainability goals that the climate impact of a vehicle, a product or a building is determined at the design phase. So we all have a particularly important role to play in Australia's transition towards net zero. But perhaps one of the most inspiring themes reflected in these awards is how these projects are connecting communities. They're human-centric spaces that value inclusivity and speak to our diversity. A job well done by each and every one of the great achievements that are being awarded tonight. So thank you, and everyone enjoy your evening. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the 2022 Emerging Architect winner and our Victorian State Manager, the gorgeous Daniel Moore.
Hello everyone, thank you so much for that warm welcome. My name is Daniel Moore and I'm the State Manager of the Victorian chapter, and it's wonderful to see so many of you here this evening to celebrate the contribution architects and architecture makes in the spaces in which we work, live and play. And I'll also second David's huge thanks to my incredible staff for the amazing work they put in since November last year, actually bringing this all together. And yeah, I guess recognising all of the work that we all do in this amazing state. So thank you so much to all my staff here who are in the background, just hiding back there. It's fitting that we start with two categories that are all about the future of the profession. Firstly, with the Emerging Architect Prize, which I was honoured to win last year. So please welcome Dugu Tani, BlueScope Specification Manager for Victoria and Tasmania.
Thank you, Daniel. Good evening. BlueScope is proud to support the Emerging Architect Prize, which recognises an emerging architect's contribution to architectural practice, education, design excellence and community involvement. In Victoria this year, the judges were faced with a particularly strong field. I am pleased to announce that the 2023 Victorian Emerging Architect Prize is awarded to Claire Scorpo of AGS Scorpo Architects.
Claire Scorpo is a highly accomplished architect who has developed a portfolio of beautifully detailed projects founded on rigorous theoretical explorations. Claire demonstrates a passion to explore highly relevant social topics and a drive to engage with her community and advocate for the positive impact of architecture through her practice, teaching and voluntary work. The jury congratulates Claire Scorpo as a leading emerging contributor to the architecture profession in all of her endeavours.
So unfortunately, Claire actually couldn't be here this evening. She's travelling overseas, but I know we all wish her the warmest congratulations. I'd now like to introduce Alistair Baldwin from Allspec, sponsor of the Imagine Project Award.
Thank you, Daniel. Good evening, everybody. Hope you're all well and enjoying the evening so far. How amazing is it being back here face-to-face at an awards dinner? I love this. I love 1,000 people in this room. And I even managed to fit into my kilt this evening, just. Thank you. Not only do I have the privilege of sharing this evening with yourselves, but I get to present in my opinion, the best award of the evening. The Emerging Architect and Graduate Network Project Award. The award is about valuing and recognising the contributions made by the Imagine members in the areas of leadership, collaboration, and application of expertise and quality of architecture. Let's see the 4 great shortlisted projects.
Imagine Project Award. AB House by Office Meiji. Coburg Frieze by Mihaly Slocum. Darebin Intercultural Centre by Sibling Architecture. And 4 Pillars Gin Distillery by Breathe.
I am honoured to announce the winner of this year's Imagine Project Award goes to the 39th President of the United States of America, Jimmy Carter and Millie Anderson of Office Meiji.
Confidently sitting astride an Indigenous garden on a flat, unremarkable suburban block, the apparently poker-faced translucent facade of AB House conceals a magic box of inventive narrative and material exploration that quickly enthralls the visitor. A more careful viewing of the street facade reveals an abstracted reading of the traditional veranda with concealed entry through a corrugated acrylic panel facade. Innate flexibility is complemented by mechanically operated elements such as protective screens over the fenestration. The jury was impressed by the thoughtful and technical detailing that pervades this project. The AB House is truly a delight and a worthy winner of the 2023 Imagine Project Award.
Thank you very much, Alistair. I think I was the only person who knew I was going to win that, or we were going to win that prize when he said 39th. So thanks for the often banter. But no, thank you everyone. Thank you to the AIA. And I think we should probably also thank our builder for this award. He was amazing, David Webb. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
How do I compete with Alistair in a kilt? But we'll try. Congratulations, Office Meiji, beautiful work. We now come to the Bates Smart Award for Architecture and Media. And so to present that prize, please welcome to the stage Director of Bates Smart, Julian Anderson.
Thank you very much. Good evening. We are very proud to sponsor the Bates Smart Award for Architecture in Media as Australia's most prestigious award for journalists, editors, producers and event organisers working in the field of architecture and design. This prize encourages and recognises excellence in media discussion of architecture. I was honoured to chair this jury alongside Gemma Savio and Rory Hyde. We had an incredibly strong field of entries to choose from and have 3 announcements to make. An award for advocacy goes to The Age opinion pieces by Michael Smith. Congratulations, Michael. And the winner of the State Award is Architectural Criticism in the Saturday Paper by Naomi Stead, RMIT, the Saturday Paper. Congratulations, Naomi. And finally, the major award, the national award in this category, goes to Deadly Jarraman Yarns by Deadly Jarraman and Parla. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, Julian, and congratulations to all 3 winners of the Bates Smart Award. Next up, we're going to move to the category which is commercial architecture. We have 1 commendation, we have 2 awards, and we have the pinnacle, the named award. To present this, please welcome to the stage Daniel Polbrat, the Manager for Lifestyle Living from Lysart.
Good evening. Lysart is proud to once again support the Victorian Architecture Awards and the Commercial Architecture category. Here are this year's shortlisted projects.
Commercial Architecture. Alba Thermal Springs and Spa by Hable. Conno Business Park by Particular Architects. Delatite Celador by Lucy Clemenger Architects. Encore Cremorne by Fieldwork. Escala Newquay by 6 Degrees Architects. 4 Pillars Gin Distillery by Breathe. JCB Studio, Jackson Clements Burrows. And Zero Gips by SJB Architects.
This year, the jury have awarded a commendation to Conno Business Park by Particular Architects. Congratulations, Particular Architects. And the jury have also awarded an architecture award to Encore Cremorne by Fieldwork.
Through a meticulous process of moulding the volume of the space, Fieldwork's Encore Cremorne responds to the challenging brief of delivering an office tower with an outstanding example of urban integration. The volumes gracefully dance and sway, guided by delicate modulation, hollowing out at the corners, offering respite to the dense urban fabric. The wells of light they create beckon the sunlight to delicately permeate through the narrow laneways. The relationship between the historic ground-level building and the new volumes is masterfully harmonised, transcending their differing scales through the carving of the interstitial spaces.
Congratulations, Fieldwork. The jury have also awarded an architecture award to JCB Studio by Jackson Clements Burrows.
JCB has successfully reimagined a post-pandemic, flexible working space that fosters collaboration and creativity. The design approach recognises the transient nature of this fast-developing part of the city with a commitment to sustainability. Every effort has been made to preserve as much as possible, integrating new components specifically with their life cycle in mind. The project successfully creates a central, introspective yet collaborative space, isolated from the noise of the main road, whilst maintaining a constant connection with the surrounding context of its perimeters.
Congratulations, JCB Studio. And finally, the highest honour in this category, the Sir Osborne McCutcheon Award for Commercial Architecture, is awarded to Delatite Cellar Door by Lucy Clemenger Architects.
The remarkable commercial success of the beautifully designed Delatite Cellar Door is a testament to the exceptional relationship between the client and architect. Sitting gracefully amongst the landscape, guests are invited on a gentle ascent through the magnificent surroundings to the building. The spaces unfold effortlessly, displaying exquisite, understated details that make use of the skills of local craftsmen and locally sourced materials. This reflects the tireless commitment of both the client and architect to sustainability and their respect for the land, fostering a seamless relationship with nature in line with their business philosophy. The interiors successfully create a welcoming domestic atmosphere where visitors can pause to take in the view and warm and welcoming space.
Oh gosh, thank you so much. We were just so thrilled to be included with such an incredible short list of projects. Thank you to the Institute, thank you to the jury for travelling so far. Such a special project for our team. So well done to Tildy, the project architect, Icons and Lily, who are here tonight, and have a lovely evening, everyone. Thank you. Thank you.
Congratulations, Lucy Clement. They're very excited. It's like giggling schoolgirls. I love that. That is how I want everybody to be when you come up here and get your award. I want you to be really excited to receive it. But a massive congratulations to the team at Lucy Clemenger. Let's move on. Our next category is educational architecture. And in this category, we have 2 commendations. We have 3 awards, and we have our pinnacle, the one named award. To present this award, I'm delighted to announce our National Immediate Past President at the Institute, the lovely Shannon Batterson, to the stage, together with Renato Novi, the Marketing and Operation Manager from Littlehampton Bricks and Pavers, to present this award. Do make them feel welcome.
Thank you. Good evening. It's so wonderful to be here to celebrate the extraordinary work of our members here in Victoria. I'm not going to lie, this is a much bigger crowd than the ACT crowd, so this is somewhat overwhelming. We've already seen an impressive array of work on display this evening. A special thanks to Renato and Littlehampton Bricks and Pavers for supporting the educational architecture category. Here are this year's shortlisted projects.
Educational architecture. Box Hill North Primary School by Sibling Architecture. Carey Grammar Middle School by Architectus. Carlton Gardens Primary School by 6 Degrees Architects. Centre for Higher Education Studies by Fieldwork and Brand Architects. Ivanhoe Grammar Sports and Aquatic Centre by McEldowie Partners. McLeod College by Kennedy Nolan. Meadows Primary School by Project 12 Architecture. Melbourne Connect by Woods Bagot. Sandringham Primary School Rebuild by Peter Elliott Architecture and Urban Design. University of Melbourne Student Precinct by Lyons with Conning Eisenberg Architecture, NMBW Architecture Studio, Greenaway Architects, Architects Eat, Aspect Studios, and Glass Urban. And VSBA New Schools 2022 Bundle B by McBride Charles Ryan in association with Kirsten Thompson Architects.
So the jury have awarded a commendation to Carlton Gardens Primary School by 6 Degrees Architects. Congratulations, 6 Degrees. The jury have also awarded a commendation to Meadows Primary School by Project 12 Architecture. Congratulations, Project 12. An architecture award goes to Box Hill North Primary School by Sibling Architecture.
Box Hill North Primary School embraces the opportunity to transform a simple brief for a primary school building into a spirited and playful set of spaces that holds opportunity in every corner. The building, which is framed by eucalypts and brick villas, greets the community with a formal language that is borrowed from its context to create a familiar and homely space for the school community. The jury were delighted by the expansive volume of the interior spaces, as well as the playful geometry of the brick and metal building fabric. The project is exemplary in its careful articulation of all architectural elements to create a spirit of generosity within a small footprint.
Congratulations, Sibling Architecture. The jury have also awarded an architecture award to the Centre for Higher Education Studies by Fieldwork and Brand Architects.
Fieldwork and Brand Architects have deftly navigated a myriad of easements and the challenges of an incredibly tight Chapel Street site to create a considered and delightful vertical school for the state government's accelerated learning program. At ground level, clear planning leads to a carefully landscaped social courtyard at the base of a dramatic and light-filled atrium. On such a tight site, both architect and client should be applauded for the spatial relief this provides the interiors. The interior palette and detailing are refined and cohesive, and the Victorian ash utilised in the hybrid structural system had been celebrated throughout. It was abundantly clear the architects revelled in the rhythms and rules they set themselves.
Congratulations, Fieldwork and Brand. And a final architecture award goes to McLeod College by Kennedy Nolan.
Kennedy Nolan's McLeod College Science Centre breathes fresh air into this existing campus with a contemporary response expressing a clear vision and confident identity. Working hard within constraints and consistently seeking opportunities for generosity, purposeful specialist teaching spaces are delivered with joyful highlights. Deftly articulated, this project feels effortless. Smart decisions have been made to provide texture and warmth within a robust palette. The astute care given to material selection, form and spatial planning provide great value. This project presents a highly engaging contemporary environment for learning, providing an optimistic template for public schools to come.
Congratulations to Kennedy Nolan. And finally, the highest honour in this category, the Henry Bastow Award for Educational Architecture, is awarded to the University of Melbourne Student Precinct by Lions with Koenig Eisenberg Architecture, NMBW Architecture Studio, Greenaway Architects, Architects EAT, Aspect Studios and Glass Urban.
This project resolves myriad forces, urban, social, cultural, historical, geographical, into a richly layered campus that is both vibrant and robust. There is a seamlessness to the precinct with its roots in the design team itself, many architectural voices singing from the one song sheet without ever sacrificing their individual expression. seamlessness in all things, between the city and the campus, between urban grids and natural waterways, between the interior and exterior realms, between Indigenous and colonial narratives, between upper and lower levels, between urban and human scales, between student-run and university-controlled spaces. It is in the deep exploration and celebration of the precinct's many threads that resolutions have been found, their commonalities and tensions expressed and resolved. A microcosm of what a city could be and ought to be. Accommodating, inclusive, delightful.
Albert. Okay, thank you everyone. We have a problem with a short speech and a big team. So I'm going to start by thanking the University of Melbourne. They put themselves on a bit of a limb to commission a project just for their students and in fact sign a contract 3 months into the coronavirus grabbing hold of us all. So that's a brave decision. The project is a big collaboration, so I want to thank firstly the extraordinary Lions team, amazing talents, young and old. But the project was an intense collaboration with Koenig Eisenberg from Los Angeles. I remember ringing Julie 5 years ago when she was on holidays in the desert, and we're very happy to have Nathan Bishop, her partner, and an integral part of the design team with us here tonight. He literally got off a plane from LA this morning, so thanks Nathan for coming. We have Jeff at Greenway. Jeff always providing incredible wisdom. It's an important project in terms of recovering some countries, so thank you for your great work on the project. Working with some talented landscape architects, Aspect Studios and Glass Urban. Can't see Mark here tonight. And Architects Eat, who worked on the retail strategy, Albert Moe, thank you Albert. And of course, our long-term collaborators, NWW Architecture, Nigel, Marika and their team, brilliant job. So thank you all. We're really honoured and it's always just an absolute pleasure to get peer recognition. So thank you very much.
I wished to do this several years ago when Kerry wasn't here, but I want to speak on behalf of all the collaborators with Lions over several projects, and NMBW has been very lucky to be part of that. And I want to thank Kerry Lyon in particular and Lions Architects for the amazing opportunity that they have afforded to all of us. Thank you.
Congratulations to the University of Melbourne precinct team. I'm not going to read out all of their names because there are about 28 different architectural firms in that and we're running a little behind schedule, but a great achievement by that collaborative group of architects. Very, very well done. Let's move on. Let's talk about heritage. The next category, of course, is our heritage architecture category, and we have 2 commendations, 4 awards and the ultimate named award. Joining me on stage now is Jeffrey Robinson, member of the Heritage Council of Victoria. Jeffrey.
Good evening. The Heritage Council of Victoria is proud to once again support the Victorian Architecture Awards and the Heritage Architecture category, which includes both conservation and creative adaptation. Here are this year's shortlisted projects.
Heritage Architecture. Ackman's House by Rob Kennan Architects. Albert Park Primary School Performance Hub by Searle and Waldron Architecture. Doherty House by RBA Architects and Conservation Consultants. Fitzroy Town Hall Ceiling Conservation by Conservation Studio Australia. Melbourne Holocaust Museum by Kirsten Thompson Architects. Prahn Arcade Facade Conservation by RBA Architects and Conservation Consultants. Queen Victoria Markets Shed Restoration A, D, H and I by NH Architecture with Trethowan Architecture. Royal Exhibition Building Promenade by Lovell Chen. Star of the Sea College Heritage Wing, PMDL McGlashan Everett. University of Melbourne Student Precinct by Lyons with Conning Eisenberg Architecture, NNBW Architecture Studio, Greenaway Architects, Architects Eat, Aspect Studio and Glass Urban. And Warrnambool Library and Learning Centre by Koslov Architecture.
What an amazing list of wonderful heritage projects. The jury has awarded a commendation for creative adaptation to Albert Park Primary School Performance Hub by Searle and Waldron Architects. Congratulations, Searle and Waldron. The jury have also awarded a commendation for conservation to Doherty House by RBA Architects and Conservation Consultants. Congratulations, RBA Architects and Conservation Consultants. And an architecture award for conservation goes to Fitzroy Town Hall Ceiling Conservation by Conservation Studio Australia.
This project represents an outstanding example of how multidisciplined, insightful and research-based conservation work can bring an important heritage site back to its former glory. The Fitzroy Town Hall is a culturally significant building in Melbourne. Its elaborate plaster ceiling was in dire need of restoration, having suffered significant water damage and resulting mould contamination. The restoration work involved conserving, stabilising and restoring 24 ceilings, which were progressively deteriorating, resulting in the temporary closure of the main hall and council chamber. This restoration project showcases the successful combination of traditional and modern conservation techniques, resulting in the preservation of cultural heritage and an important landmark for future generations.
Congratulations, Conservation Studio Australia. A further architectural award for conservation goes to Paran Arcade Facade Conservation by RBA Architects and Conservation Consultants.
An earthquake in 2021 that damaged buildings in Chapel Street also threatened to shear off the highly ornamented facade of the nearby Pran Arcade, a fabulous example of the 19th century shopping arcade built at the end of Melbourne's land boom. The jury was impressed with the specially developed render, the craft of hand-pulled plasterwork and the creative use of the balcony floor to structurally pin the facade back to the building. We often bemoan that quality of buildings is lost to spreadsheets, the "they don't make them like they used to" sentiment. This owner believes the numbers say otherwise. Investing in the restoration of this grand dame is good for business. We can't wait to see what he does next.
Congratulations, RBA Architects and Conservation Consultants. An architectural award for conservation is also awarded to Royal Exhibition Building Promenade by Lovell Chen.
Lovell Chen have reinstated the 360-degree roof promenade deck and conducted conservation works on the south facade and drum dome of the Royal Exhibition Building. Many structural and conservation challenges were met along the way. A copula was remarkably removed in one piece to install a new lift and steel stair in the West Pavilion where the original lift had been. and Lovell Chen made the bold decision to significantly increase the size of the original promenade to ensure its future viability. Lovell Chen's skill and deep understanding of the building has led to a thoughtful response that will no doubt be enjoyed by many future visitors.
Congratulations, Lovell Chen. And a final architecture award for creative adaptation goes to the University of Melbourne Student Precinct by Lines with Koning Eisenberg Architecture, NMBW Architecture Studio, Greenway Architects, Architects Eat, Aspect Studios and Glass Urban.
The jury were impressed by the deft interpretation and adaptation of this complex urban condition into a coherent company of spaces. The informed conception of First Nations cultural heritage is evident in various aspects of the project, including the welcome ground and welcome terrain that flow throughout the precinct, and the central tenderum space reinstating the water story of the original Bovary Creek. The student precinct's urban response replaces the elevated concrete plaza with solid ground that respects and preserves the heritage structures. Selective demolition and purposeful additions suggest a methodology for campus interventions that celebrates the journey of discovery that characterises the University of Melbourne.
Congratulations to the student precinct team. And finally, the highest honour in this category, the John George Knight Award for Heritage, is awarded to Queen Victoria Market Shed Restoration, ADH&I by NH Architecture and Throthowan Architecture.
This restoration's primary objective was to repair and refurbish the open-air sheds while improving the market experience for all stakeholders. The challenge of the brief was to achieve this outcome without closing the market, resulting in a staged and in situ solution. The jury was greatly impressed by the seamless integration of the outcome, preserving the chaos of the market while providing traders with improved access to power, water, and mobile food storage units that were co-designed with the traders. The project successfully balances the restoration of significant architectural heritage with the needs of contemporary market operations, setting a new benchmark for future restoration projects located within bustling urban environments.
Thank you. Obviously, I'd like to firstly thank the tireless work of the NH team who documented every single column, beam, post, bit of roof sheet multiple times. And also, obviously, like to thank Throthowan as our partners. It's been a fantastic and long journey. And most importantly, I'd like to thank the City of Melbourne for the significant and long and tireless investment in the Queen Victoria market. Thank you.
Congratulations to NH and Throthowan Architecture. Next up is this year's largest category. We had 35 entrants in this category, and that's the category for interior architecture. Tonight we have 3 commendations, 2 awards, and the named awards. So to present this, please welcome Veronica Wasserman, the General Manager of About Space Lighting, one of our major sponsors for this evening. Veronica.
Good evening. About Space is proud to support the Victorian Architecture Awards and the Interior Architecture category, which recognises achievement in the design of an interior spatial environment. Here are this year's shortlisted projects.
Interior architecture. Bass Coast Farmhouse by Wardle. Darebin Intercultural Centre by Sibling Architecture. Delatite Cellar Door by Lucy Clemenger Architects. Glen Iris House by Pandolfini Architects. Herman by Wowowa Architecture. JCB Studio by Jackson Clements Burrows. Science Gallery Melbourne by Smart Design Studio. Summers House by Kennedy Nolan. The Mental Health Beds Expansion Program at McKellar Centre by NTC Architects with BG Architecture. Three Springs Architectural Interiors by KGA Architecture. University of Melbourne Student Precinct by Lyons with Conning Eisenberg Architecture, NMBW Architecture Studio, Greenaway Architects, Architects Eat, Aspect Studios and Glass Urban. And Wirran Senior Campus by GHD Woodhead and Grimshaw.
The jury have awarded a commendation to Herman by Wowowa Architecture. Congratulations, Wowowa Architecture. The jury have also awarded a commendation to Summers House by Kennedy Nolan. Congratulations, Kennedy Nolan. And the final commendation goes to the Mental Health Beds Expansion Program at McKellar Centre by the NTC Architects with BG Architecture. Congratulations, NTC Architecture with BG Architecture. An architecture award goes to Bass Coast Farmhouse by Wardle.
Bass Coast Farmhouse is an example of contemporary Australian architecture that deftly balances innovative design with poetic craftsmanship. Characterised by a sequence of repetitive elements, the interior takes on a monastic quality. Dark timbers are paired with a series of low-hanging wall lights which infuse the space with an unhurried characteristic. Views of the sweeping coastal landscape are carefully framed, while shuttered windows overlooking the central courtyard invite a sense of introspection. It is a deliberate shift from the automated to the sensory, serving as a reminder to slow down and take it in. This, along with a restricted use of detailing to cohesive elements, evokes simplicity inherent to a farmhouse.
Congratulations to Wardle. An architecture award also goes to Science Gallery Melbourne by Smart Design Studio.
Science Gallery Melbourne by Smart Design Studio provides an integrated and dynamic solution to the exhibition and gallery design typology. Impeccably detailed and exceptionally adaptive, the interior merges function and form seamlessly, allowing for the reuse of custom-designed exhibition panels and recycling of used exhibition materials. Joyful, colourful and effortless in its execution, yet complex and precise in its operation, the Science Gallery achieves what it aims to showcase: an exploration in the collision of science, art and innovation.
Congratulations, Smart Design Studio. And finally, the highest honour in this category, the Marion Mahoney Award for Interior Architecture, is awarded to Three Springs Architectural Interiors by KGA Architecture.
Time nor taste shall weary it. It is not fashionable now, nor will it be in 50 years. The sheer devotion of this project by its architect transcend all of this. In 100 years' time, it will still ring as true as it does right now. It is the work of a single practitioner, drawing upon a wealth of collected thoughts and responses to form and space. It talks of place, of making, of the joy of this rich tapestry of life. It is celebration, architect as artist. It is worthy of the named award.
This is intense. I'd like to thank the jury and the Institute for letting this happen. This is incredible. This project I've often talked about being a love letter to my mentors, those who came before me, and a love letter to the profession. But it's also become a love letter to all the trades and all the crafts and the suppliers. But most importantly, I'm humbled by the power of patronage and how important clients are, and the clients demanding skill and trade and excellence. It's their care and love that propels you. And we had the privilege of having a direct line of correspondence between architect, client and builder, which meant there was nothing lost in translation. So there was nothing lost in translation. So we basically, we sat on the ground and we sat and we danced on the ground and we worked the site, and we found the colour out of the clay and we found the colour out of the stone, and the project is really a community, and I can't thank the client enough for their patronage and for their belief. And having taught Marion Mahoney's drawing, and the bringing of the landscape into every drawing has propelled us into drawing the landscape, and we perfectly framed the landscape in every room. Thank you very much. It's an honour to be here.
Congratulations, KGA. We're halfway through. We're almost there. Exciting. Our next category, ladies and gentlemen, is public architecture. We have 3 commendations, 3 awards, and the named award. I'm absolutely delighted. You're going to love him. I love him. This is a good mate of mine. He's from Taubmans. Please welcome to present this award, the wonderful Brad Slater.
What a wonderful introduction. Thank you, Michael. Good evening. Taubmans is proud to support the Victorian Architecture Awards in the Public Architecture category. Here are this year's shortlisted projects.
Public architecture. Bell to Moreland level crossing removal by Woodmarsh Architecture. Bendigo Law Courts by Wardle. Berengurra Aged Care by Lyons. Budgebim Cultural Landscape by Cooper Scaife Architects. Dianella Community Centre by Canvas Projects. Lilydale and Murrumbidgee Railway Stations by BKK Architects, Kirikau Architects, Jacobs and Aspect Studios. Melbourne Holocaust Museum by Kirsten Thompson Architects. Nunawading Community Hub by FJMT Studio. Queenscliff Ferry Terminal by F2 Architecture. The Mental Health Beds Expansion Program at Northern Hospital by NTC Architects and NH Architecture. Victorian Heart Hospital by Conrad Gargett and Wardle. And Warrnambool Library and Learning Centre by Kosloff Architecture.
And the jury awarded a commendation to Bell to Moreland Level Crossing Removal Project by Woodmarsh Architecture. Congratulations, Woodmarsh Architecture. The jury have also awarded a commendation to Berengara Aged Care by Lyons. Congratulations to Lyons. And a final commendation goes to Queenscliff Ferry Terminal by F2 Architecture. Congratulations, F2 Architecture. An architecture award goes to Dianella Community Centre by Canvas Projects.
An unassuming form and setback prioritises recreation and gathering spaces on its corner site. Simple and clever, youths are enticed into the centre in their own time. On approach, the deep fascia and expressive timber soffit are a welcoming human-scale gesture. Inside, the timber ceiling grid extends to give warmth to the central community area and program spaces. Environmental initiatives include north-facing clerestory windows with overhangs for winter light, rainwater harvesting and 100% electricity. It also delivers meaningful social sustainability outcomes through the support of educational programs, local makers markets, art showcase units and an amphitheatre hosting performance and movie nights. In a strong field, this modest project stands tall as a model for community centres, delivering considered and humble architecture to the Tarneet community.
Congratulations to Canvas Projects. An architecture award also goes to the Melbourne Holocaust Museum by Kirsten Thompson Architects.
The realisation of the Melbourne Holocaust Museum is simultaneously sensitive and powerfully symbolic. Imbued with an ongoing mission to provide a memorial and learning centre, it provides human dignity with the aim to combat racism and prejudice. A humane architectural language and materiality define the museum's centralised circulation. The museum heart thoughtfully envelops visitors in tactile timbers and soft light. Moments of vertical connection evoke reverence, and the clever manipulation of natural light through openings and reflective surfaces provide relief from the museum's exhibits, as well as facilitating opportunities for contemplation and contextualisation. The subdued reimagining of the Melbourne Holocaust Museum elevates its contents and sensitively mediates connection between visitors, exhibits and programs, and the immediate context. It renews its civic role in educating the public and influencing the milieu of contemporary Melbourne.
Congratulations to Kirsten Thompson Architects. And a final architecture award also goes to Warrnambool Library and Learning Centre by Kozloff Architecture.
Kozloff Architecture's vision is attentive, generous and transformative, combining the adaptive reuse of their heritage Overley Room with a 3-storey addition to enhance facilities for the local community and TAFE campus at the heart of Warrnambool. The care given to the Orderly Room collection is immediately evident. A sublime space of grand proportions is articulated by tactile surfaces, natural timbers and soft furnishings, which offers a comfort of human scale for the enduring enjoyment of civic life. The Learning and Library edition is compelling and beautifully detailed, mediating its context with a thoughtful scale and palette. The structural solution is clever. The concrete curves of the facade appear weightless in contrast to the heavy heritage context.
Congratulations, Kozloff Architecture. And finally, the highest honour in this category, the William Wardle Award for Public Architecture, is awarded to the Bendigo Law Courts by Wardle.
Wardle have wrestled a complex brief and program, dealing with challenging societal issues and carefully shaping the new Bendigo Law Courts into a beautiful gift to the city and the people it serves. Deep engagement with the Dja Dja Wurrung traditional owners has led to a project that responds to both its pre- and post-colonial history and its context with meaning, richness and pride. With the utmost care to procure materials locally from local trades and to solve an innovative facade system that reduces material usage and works as a beacon to reconciliation and longevity.
I might just start off the thank you by thanking the many people involved in doing something that's such an important community facility. The evidence is so well regarded when you can see the evidence in this beautiful provincial city that is the city of Bendigo, a building that's been accepted by that community with the power that architecture can provide. It provides something that is so universally appreciated. So we'd like to thank the city of Bendigo and then our clients and everybody else, but I might pass to Meg to take it from there, and our great team.
What an extraordinary thing. Thank you so much. Thank you to the jury. Thank you to this incredible team at Wardle. And in particular, thanks to John, who really has created the practice that allows us to do these really remarkable buildings. An incredible client, a fantastic builder. Thank you very much. Amazing.
Congratulations, John and the entire Wardle team. Well done. Our next category, ladies and gentlemen, is residential architecture, houses, alterations and additions. We've got 2 commendations, 3 awards, 1 named award. So to present this, please welcome the sponsor of this segment from Mackay Timber, the wonderful Michael Sedlarevic. Woo! Woo!
Good evening. Our next category is residential architecture, houses, alterations and additions, where we have 2 commendations and 3 awards. Good evening, I'm from Mackay Timber and I'm delighted once again to support the Victorian Architecture Awards in the residential architecture, houses, alterations and additions category. Here are this year's shortlisted projects.
Residential architecture, houses, alterations and additions. Armadale House by Neeson Murcutt Neal. Fitzroy House by Andrew Child Architect. Fitzroy North Terrace by Claire Cousins Architects. Garden Tower House by Studio Bright. Haynes Street by Fu Man Architects. Helvetia by Austin Maynard Architects. Mary Street House by Addition Office. Point Lonsdale House by Solomon Troop Architects. Sunday by Architecture. And Rongshamp by Wowowa Architecture.
The jury have awarded the commendation to Fitzroy House by Andrew Child Architect. Congratulations, Andrew Child Architects. The jury have also awarded a commendation to Rongshamp by Wowowa Architecture. Congratulations, Wowowa Architecture. And then the Architecture Award goes to Armadale House by Neeson Murcutt Neal.
Stepping past the high fence and into the site, it is not apparent that any alteration or addition has been undertaken. The careful removal of existing fabric and delicate insertions which have been made throughout the house only become clear as you begin your journey within. The architects appreciated that the existing house was large enough, and the client's programmatic brief has been carefully inserted within the footprint of the existing building. Sculptural skylights and carefully placed openings provide ample light within and emphasise connections within the established garden, all the time offering a sense of surprise and delight.
Congratulations to Neeson Murcutt Neil. The Architecture Award goes to Helvetia by Austin Maynard Architects.
Helvetia emerges as a beacon of thoughtful architectural reinvention. Once a dark Victorian terrace, twice reconfigured and long in disrepair, it has been reimagined through a series of subtle yet transformative interventions. A true exercise in sustainability, the renovation champions reuse over demolition. The home's layout embraces the rhythms of its inhabitants, creating an urban haven that is playful and practical. Every detail, from reglazing of the restored bay window to the reimagined balcony terrace, contributes to an elevated living experience.
Congratulations, Austin Maynard Architects. And the final award goes to Mary Street House by Addition Office.
Surrounded by 19th century built form, a sculptural object is presented via layers of a wall on the boundary, a wall set back within the site, and extrusion that turns with a soft curve beyond. On a challenging, busy corner intersection, an existing home becomes a sanctuary that is artistic and entertaining, with sculpted masonry walls as a tolerant barrier between the line of public and private. The new elements offer a balance of acoustic and visual privacy that is generous to the public frontage while continuing its gesture to serve the occupants within.
Congratulations to Addition Office. And the final and the highest honour in this category, the John Phyllis Murphy Award for Residential Architecture, Houses, Alterations and Awards, is awarded to Sunday by Architecture Architecture.
On entering through the familiar single-storey terrace threshold, an unexpected materiality of large external precast pavers on the floor prepares one for a complete reframing of what is possible within a standard Melbourne terrace allotment. The interior world is a complete oasis, where realities of the city are made to effortlessly float away, and the occupants immersed in breeze and greenery that is gently running wild. This is a house for writing and reading alone, but we can equally imagine that the whole thing is a party. The architects have intensely channeled the specific sensibilities and life experiences of their clients to create a house where a visitor can also immediately feel at home.
We're pretty thrilled to be getting this. Of course, projects like this are the work of many hands. We've been energised from the beginning by our amazing clients, Sophie, who's here on stage with us today. Their imagination, their excitement, their trust really drove us through the project. An incredible builder in Tom Petty, really formidable, finessing every corner of the project. This incredible team of architects, smart, funny, misfits, who I have the pleasure of working with every day. But I'd really like to just take a moment to acknowledge Angus Hamilton, the project architect here. He's an incredible human being. He really has all the skills that an architect needs, but he has so much more. He's kind and he's patient and he's caring, and that is something that carries us all. It carries our clients, it carries our builders and our projects, and we don't talk about those qualities enough in architecture, and I'd really like to honour this and these qualities in Angus tonight and say thank you.
They're the coolest group of awesome dressed people I think I've ever met. I got up my game. Okay, congratulations Architecture and your incredible fashions. Well done on that prize. Let's move on. Our next category is Residential Architecture Houses New. And we have 3 commendations, 1 award, and of course our named awards. So to present this, please welcome to the stage the Managing Director of Partridge, the sponsor of this award, the wonderful Peter Standen.
Good evening. Partridge Engineers is very proud to support the Victorian Architecture Awards and the Residential Architecture Houses New category. Let's have a look at this year's shortlisted projects.
Residential Architecture Houses New. AB House by Office Meiji. Bass Coast Farmhouse by Wardle. Casa di Campo by Neil Architecture. Glen Iris House by Pandolfini Architects. Merrick's Farmhouse by Michael Lumby with Nielsen Jenkins. Maury House by MA Architects and Aries Mateus. Off-Grid House by Archer. Summers House by Kennedy Nolan. Spring Creek Road Farmhouse by Architect Brucock. The Courtyard Garden House by Delia Teschendorf Architecture. Three Springs Residential Gallery by KGA Architecture. And West Bend House by MRTN Architects.
The jury have awarded a commendation to AB House by Office Meiji. Congratulations, Office Meiji. The jury have also awarded a commendation to Bass Coast Farmhouse by Wardle. Congratulations, Wardle. And a final commendation is awarded to Maury House by MA Architects and Aries Mateus. Congratulations, MA Architects and Aries Mateus. An architecture award goes to Merrick's Farmhouse by Michael Lumby and Nielsen Jenkins.
Spilling out from beneath a singular gabled roof form, spatial volumes are shaped with the rise and fall of the natural ground floor plane to achieve distinction between private and public zones. Sculpted, skylit roof forms provide a subtle light quality to the otherwise diffusely lit interiors with expansive views to the coastline beyond. The omnipresent central courtyard contains a lush, landscaped garden that breathes light, air and connection into the internal spaces and provides refuge from the often harsh coastal environment.
Congratulations, Michael Lumby and Nielsen Jenkins. And finally, the highest honour in this category, the Harold Desborough Anir Award for Residential Architecture Houses New, is awarded to Spring Creek Road Farmhouse by Architect Brucock.
Spring Creek Road Farmhouse is a house that does not command its site, but instead nourishes it. The house speaks to its purpose as a temporal place of dwelling, where human existence and occupation are intrinsically tied in relationship with land, water and fire. Precisely designed and crafted as a kit of legible, dismountable parts, the architecture is a series of separate elements, or near misses, that speak to the vulnerability of the almost extinct grassy volcanic plains of Western Victoria. Through lessons of listening, watching, learning and improving, this project demonstrates an assured rigour in conceptual approach and execution.
We were just pleased to put our project in, and we thought the whole process was really enjoyable, and it was great. It was just great to have people come and visit the building, and it was really interesting it was kind of cathartic for us, you know, to just, so we're really grateful for the jury to have visited it. We had our money on every other.
We had good money.
We had good money on a lot of the other projects. But we also really feel that the, you know, this is a really interesting mass participation event, that there's so many people put their work in, and, you know, that it engenders a conversation that actually, it was really kind of surprising and really, yeah, so we were just really pleased to get the Desborough O'Neill Award. Oh, no, we're just pleased to be here.
Congratulations, Architect Brukosh. Do come and have a photo. Architect Brukosh, please. They're expecting you in the photo lounge. Feel free to make your way there. Thank you. Congratulations once again. Our next category in the Resi category is residential architecture, multiple housing. In this category, we've got 2 commendations, 2 awards, and the named award. To present this, please welcome to the stage from Cosentino, the sponsor of this category, the lovely Ian Wiley. There you go, mate.
Thank you. Good evening. Cosentino is proud to support the Victorian Architecture Awards and the Residential Architecture Multiple Housing category, which recognises achievement in the design of residential projects which include 2 or more self-contained dwellings. And here are this year's shortlisted projects.
Residential architecture, multiple housing. 38 Ambermile Street, Kensington, by Fieldwork. 388 Barclay Street, by Dreamer with Breathe Architecture. 835 High Street, by Carr. Australia 108, by Fender Katzilidis. Fenwick, by Edition Office with Flax Studio. Kerr Street Residences, by Kirsten Thompson Architects. Nightingale Village, by Architecture, Austin Maynard Architects, Breathe, Claire Cousins Architects, Hayball and Kennedy Nolan. Number 6 Sydney Street, by Woodmarsh Architecture. Slate House, by Austin Maynard Architects. And Viv's Place, by ARM Architecture.
All right. The jury have awarded a commendation to Fenwick by Edition Office with Flax Studio. Congratulations. Congratulations, Edition Office and Flax Studio. The jury have also awarded a commendation to Viv's Place by ARM Architecture. Congratulations to ARM Architecture. An Architecture Award goes to 38 Albemarle Street, Kensington by Fieldwork.
In Australia's first build-to-rent-to-own development, 38 Ambermile Street demonstrates a robust and clever response to resilient community living. Positioned above an industrial heritage wool store, the deep-set balconies with light-toned precast serve as a recessive backdrop to the intricate detail of the heritage facade below. At ground level, residents share an expansive communal space, including a multi-purpose workshop, loan library, and a zero-waste hospitality venue that creates an intermediary between the residents and the broader community. Dividing the 2 volumes above, an external circulation breezeway of open mesh and voids layer light, space and landscape. This communal spine provides a scaffold for residents to curate an extension of their private living spaces and offers incidental moments of interaction.
Congratulations to Fieldwork. An Architecture Award also goes to Nightingale Village by Architecture, Austin Maynard Architects, Breathe, Claire Cousins Architects, Hayball and Kennedy Nolan.
The Nightingale Village is more than the sum of its parts, a social enterprise that acts as a community hub for its inhabitants while invigorating the local precinct more broadly. Prioritising communal spaces and collective amenity, the development is anchored by a highly social landscape laneway that bisects the site, acting as a social incubator and allowing interaction between apartments and buildings. The 6 individually designed buildings are highly coloured and detailed, each offering a distinctly personalised approach, yet united by a subtle thread of recurrent detailing. The ethos of financial affordability, environmental and social sustainability provides a prototype for high-density urban living.
Congratulations to the Nightingale Village team. And finally, the highest honour in this category, the Best Overall Award for Residential Architecture Multiple Housing, is awarded to Kerr Street Residences by Kirsten Thompson Architects.
Austere from the exterior and barely perceivable from the street, Kerr Street Residences addresses the issues of this complex site with what appears to be a simple solution. But simplicity is a journey of complexity. All the units are cross-ventilated with glazing to the courtyard and exterior. Some have verandas to the walkways with screens for privacy, and others have seats. These gestures encourage engagement and temper the views into the apartments beyond. The generosity of the courtyard avoids the need for screening and gives beautiful transparency in and out of the homes. There is so much life here.
Thank you to the Institute and the jury for this honour. The oldest project in the office, dating from 2010, which took a long time in planning, where we were pushing for the best urban outcome, and a long time to build with as much of the existing factory being retained and respected as we could. None of this would have happened without a supportive client in Phil Kerr, who had visioned for build to rent before it was popular, and a strong drive for a quality outcome. Thank you to the consultant team. Special thanks to Perrott Simpson for their structural engineering through the early stages of construction. Thanks to Henny for taking over construction halfway through the build, a daunting task that they seem to handle with ease. And lastly, thank you to the KTA team, especially to Kirsten, Kelly, to Erica, to Hilary, Sophie and Keith Little, just to name a few of the many who dedicated themselves to this project. Thank you.
Congratulations to the team at KTA, and of course Kirsten Thompson is this year's gold medalist at the Institute, so we're really looking forward to seeing her present later on this year. Our next category, ladies and gentlemen, is small project architecture, and we have 2 commendations, 1 award and the named award. To present this category, please welcome to the stage the Chief Executive Officer of the Victorian Forest Products Association, the lovely Deb Kerr.
Good evening, everyone. Victoria Wood, which is one of our brands, is very proud to be joining with the Australian Institute of Architects to support the Small Projects Architecture category in this year's Victorian Architecture Awards. Here are this year's shortlisted projects.
Small project architecture. Crumpler, Melbourne, by Wowowa Architecture. Furbank Sandringham Curiosity Centre, by Studio Bright. Joyce Chapel Bridge, by Searle and Waldron Architecture. Lily Shed, by Oscar Sainsbury Architects. South Melbourne Market External Food Hall, by Burke and Boodaloop Architects. And the Victorian Family Violence Memorial, by Muir and Openwork.
The jury have awarded a commendation to Furbank Sandringham Curiosity Centre by Studio Bright. Congratulations to Studio Bright. The jury have also awarded a commendation to Lily Shed by Oscar Sainsbury Architects. Congratulations to Oscar Sainsbury Architects. Yes, give them a big applause. The Architecture Award goes to Joyce Chapel Bridge by Searle and Waldron Architecture.
Beyond a utilitarian crossing point, the project includes a layered native garden and places for pause and reflection. The architects deftly layer these numerous elements in a symmetrical composition that allows for movement of large groups and offers seating for quiet contemplation. The blended brick tones in the blade walls soften these insertions, while semicircular apertures enable visual connections to rambling vegetation that lines the creek. An intervention of modest scale, the Joyce Chapel Bridge demonstrates the potential of architecture to enrich its occupants.
Congratulations to Searle and Waldron Architecture. And finally, the highest honour in this category, the Kevin Borland Award for Small Project Architecture, is awarded to Victorian Family Violence Memorial by Muir and Openwork.
Intrinsic to the project's success is the exemplary consultation process through which the project was developed. Through a continued open dialogue with victim survivors, First Nations and state government advisory groups, Muir and Openwork have reframed the memorial typology. This is a place for everyone, a place where people can bring their own meaning and their own interpretations. Situated on a triangulated site, bound by a busy street and the austere presence of the Commonwealth Building, the memorial successfully grounds itself within a layered context. Defining its physical relationships through scale and orientation, the memorial creates a dialogue with surrounding typography to form a protected space for contemplation.
We have a few people that we would really like to acknowledge in regard to this project. It was an incredible team effort, and I think Mark and I would say that by the end of this process we had become very good friends with our stakeholders. We would like to thank City of Melbourne for the opportunity, DPC, Sally, who was extraordinary, Jen and Russell, who were part of Victim Survivors Advisory Council, Forced Adoption Practices, and our very lovely collaborator, Sarah Lynn Race, who we absolutely adored working with, and Phil Gardner as well, who we love working with as well. But I think just one of the things that we would like to acknowledge is one of the things that Jennifer often talks about in relation to this issue is that we all have a responsibility to talk about this issue every single day. It's not going away, and every one of us has the ability to change the future by acting. And so this is a shout out from Jennifer. On behalf of Jennifer, I'm sure if she was here tonight, this is, I wouldn't say it as eloquently as Jennifer would, but this is what she would like us to say. So thank you very much. Thank you to the jury. Thank you to the Institute.
Thank you, Mark, and thank you, Amy, for those lovely words. Let's move on to the next category, ladies and gentlemen, which is urban design. And in this category, in urban design, we have one commendation, just one award, and of course the pinnacle, the named awards. So to present this, please welcome back to the stage the Managing Director of Polestar Australia, Samantha Johnson.
Hello again. The urban design category recognises achievement in design which enhances the quality of the built environment or public domain. Polestar is delighted to recognise this achievement as sponsor of the urban design category. Here are this year's shortlisted projects.
Urban design. Bell to Moreland level crossing removal by Woodmarsh Architecture. Bendigo Law Courts by Wardle. Lilydale and Marulbark Railway Stations by BKK Architects, Kirikau Architects, Jacobs and Aspect Studios. Melbourne Park by NH Architecture with Snowheader and Aspect Studios. Nightingale Village by Architecture Architecture, Austin Maynard Architects, Breathe, Claire Cousins Architects, Hable, Kennedy Nolan, Open Work and Andy Fergus. Queenscliff Ferry Terminal by F2 Architecture. And University of Melbourne Student Precinct by Lyons with Conning Eisenberg Architecture, NMBW Architecture Studio, Greenaway Architects, Architects Eat, Aspect Studios and Glass Urban.
The jury have awarded a commendation to Bell to Moreland Level Crossing Removal Project by Woodmarsh Architecture. Congratulations to Woodmarsh Architecture. An Architecture Award goes to Nightingale Village by Architecture Architecture, Austin Maynard Architects, Breathe, Claire Cousins Architects, Hay Ball, Kennedy Nolan, Open Work and Andy Fergus.
Comprised of 6 buildings adjacent to the train line in Brunswick, Nightingale Village is a welcoming, fine-grain, extensive development that offers a sustainable alternative to the often opaque and monolithic high-density residential model that surrounds it. The success of the design lies in the design team's ability to solve complex problems at a multitude of scales. It manages to do this without exclusion or privatising adjacent spaces. The pedestrian scale is elegantly considered, from integrated seating ledges to playful letterboxes, ensuring the space between buildings feels safe and inviting. This excellent project is the result of a rich multidisciplinary collaboration.
Congratulations to the Nightingale Village team. And finally, the highest honour in this category, the Joseph Reed Award for Urban Design, is awarded to University of Melbourne Student Precinct by Lyons with Koning Eisenberg Architecture, NMBW Architecture Studio, Greenaway Architects, Architects Eat, Aspect Studios and Glass Urban.
This precinct is a transformative, scalable urban project that realises a strong co-designed vision. A vision that recognises the social ecologies in play over time and the critical need for healthy habitats everywhere and anywhere. A deliberate dissolution of the thresholds at the eastern gateway into the university invites a new level of flow, porosity and safety. The pedestrian landscape terrain extends a gentle hand of welcome into the public street realm and invites us all to wander in, prop, meet new and old friends, study, watch or play. New buildings are stitched seamlessly alongside old and reinterpreted spaces in a deeply sophisticated manner, evidencing high levels of collaboration and a diversity of voices from inception to completion.
Well, on behalf of our large collective and huge team, we're really honoured to be here today and to receive this award. This project is a complex project. It starts with how we anchor in country, how we start to privilege the importance of people, and how do we start to facilitate opportunities within our city and stitch it in. So, we're very proud of this project. Thank you.
Congratulations to the Student Precinct team. Our next category, ladies and gentlemen, is the Colorbond Award for Steel Architecture. We have one commendation as well as the top award. To present this, we have been many years really, a long partner with BlueScope Steel for over 40 years. And to present this award tonight, please welcome to the stage our Specification Manager for Victoria and Tasmania, the lovely Dugu Tani, to present the Colorbond Award.
Thank you, Michael. Hello again. BlueScope is proud to support the Victorian Architecture Awards and the Colorbond Award for Steel Architecture, which celebrates projects in which steel products play a significant role. Here are this year's shortlisted projects.
The Colorbond Award for Steel Architecture. AB House by Office Meiji. McLeod College by Kennedy Nolan. That Old Chestnut by Figure Architecture Studio. And Trentham Opposite the Station by SOS Architects.
The jury have awarded a commendation to That Old Chestnut by Figure Architecture Studio. Congratulations, Figure Architecture Studio. And the highest honour in this category, the Colorbond Award for Steel Architecture, is awarded to AB House by Meiji Office.
This exceptional project epitomises architectural finesse, seamlessly melding functionality and aesthetics with a captivating allure. The steel columns enveloping the structure not only assist in lifting the building volume up gently to comply with floodplain requirements, but also exude an unwavering sense of transparency and strength. A testament to structural integrity, these robust elements embody both protection and revelation, embracing their surroundings with resolute purpose. This extraordinary project stands as a testament to architectural brilliance, capturing the imagination with its creative ingenuity, meticulous craftsmanship, and a profound appreciation for the dynamic interplay of space, materials, and human experience.
Hi, we just want to say thank you to the Institute and the jury. I'm 9 months pregnant, so this is too much excitement for me, I think. But thank you very much.
Oh, maybe thanks to Dan for the voiceovers. They've been exceptional.
Great. Congratulations. A good night for Office Meiji. They've done very, very well. Okay, let's move on. Our category now we're coming to is Sustainable Architecture, and we have 3 commendations. Our next category is Sustainable Architecture. We've got 3 commendations and 1 award and 1 named award. So please welcome the Dean of the Faculty of Architecture, Building and Planning at the University of Melbourne, the wonderful Julie Willis.
Good evening. The University of Melbourne is proud to support the Victorian Architecture Awards as category sponsor for the Sustainable Architecture Award. The University highly values our long-standing partnership with the Institute, and we are honoured to host this year's exhibition of entries and presentation to juries in our building in March. A large audience was present for over 300 presentations to 15 juries. Congratulations to all entrants and jurors who took part. I'm proud to announce this year marks a milestone for this category and indeed for the whole awards program. For the first time, entrants across all categories were required to submit a comprehensive sustainability checklist, which was also used to determine eligibility for this category. And here are this year's shortlisted projects.
Sustainable architecture. ANMF House by Bailey Ward. Bendigo Law Courts by Wardle. Delatite Cellar Door by Lucy Clemenger Architects. Eternity Life Apartments by K20 Architecture. Glenroy Community Hub by Design Inc. Melbourne. Gurumbat House and Shed by Austin Caffra Austin Architects. Nightingale Village by Architecture, Austin Maynard Architects, Breathe, Claire Cousins Architects, Hable and Kennedy Nolan. Spring Creek Road Farmhouse by Architect Brewcock. And University of Melbourne Student Precinct by Lions with Conning Eisenberg Architecture, NMBW Architecture Studio, Greenaway Architects, Architects Eat, Aspect Studios and Glass Urban.
The jury have awarded a commendation to Bendigo Law Courts by Wardle. Congratulations, Wardle. A further commendation goes to Glenroy Community Hub by Design Inc. Melbourne. Congratulations, Design Inc. Melbourne. And a final commendation is awarded to Spring Creek Road Farmhouse by Architects Brewcock. Congratulations, Architects Brewcock. An architecture award goes to ANMF House by Bailey Ward.
ANMF House demonstrates how sustainability can be integrated throughout a project without abrupt cultural change through considered design, streamlined construction and comfortable operation. ANMF House's multiple initiatives resonated with the jury through its sustainable commercial development process, passive house design, its sensitive integration into built heritage and focus on occupant well-being, primarily ANMF's extensive nursing and care workers. ANMF demonstrates how projects can holistically be underpinned by sustainable principles, while still supporting economic drivers, positively contributing to its place and progressing the industry.
Congratulations, Bailey Ward. And the highest honour in this category, the Alan and Beth Caldicott Award for Sustainable Architecture, is awarded to Nightingale Village by Architecture, Austin Maynard Architects, Breathe, Claire Cousin Architects, Hable and Kennedy Nolan.
Whilst the Nightingale model with its restrained material palette and shared facilities is already highly lauded, the jury felt that this project, which escalates the scale of the model to the village precinct, delivers outstanding results. These impacts are felt both across the industry and in people's day-to-day lives. Including a wide range of Melbourne's architects in the project promotes new models of collaboration and reflects a certain generosity. It ensures the dissemination of knowledge relating to delivering environmentally responsible buildings through the local design community. This project considers the social life of the people that live there, encouraging delight in lower footprint living behaviours through minimal car usage, electrification and shared facilities.
Thank you very much. I might just quickly say that clearly it takes a village to build a village. And this is the incredible village that we have with us. This project started in 2017. There's one architect missing from up here. Where's Mon from Wawawa? Get up here. When we started this project, we bought a site for $18.5 million and we had no way of knowing where we were going to get the money from. I called a bunch of very, very brave architects who all, like us, put their houses and their businesses on the line to fund this project, to bring investors and friends with them to fund this project. And when one of the 7 architects pulled out, I called Mon a couple of weeks before the project, and Mon came to our rescue to be the 7th architect there. So thank you, Mon, and thank you, Wawa. We worked together as an incredible group with the help of Openwork, Mark Jakes, Andy Fergus, with the team from Nightingale. And when we finally got a planning permit, the council offered to buy some land back from us to make a park. And so we kindly sold Mon's site and her building back to council. So that's why she's not here, but thanks, Mon. These architects risked everything, gave years of their life. I also want to really thank Hayball for trying to bring together 6 architects' visions and document the whole thing. Thank you, Luch. Thank you, Bianca. Thank you, team. And it was a wild ride to try and do that. I want to thank HASA, incredible builders that did a really tough job through COVID. I want to thank Fontic for believing that this was possible. And I want to thank our investors for putting their money on the line. Lastly, I want to thank the residents that all believed in us, that trusted us, and bought houses off us despite our relatively inexperience in development or delivery. Over to you, Claire.
I just wanted to say briefly that Nightingale Village shows what architects can do when they get off and do things themselves, that you don't wait for government policy to change. We all put a huge amount of pro bono blood, sweat and tears into this project. We invested our own capital. We raised a lot of money from small investments from a lot of our investors, many of whom are here tonight, architects pulling money out of their mortgages. And that's allowed us to deliver a project with 20% social housing, and it's a great model to show we can have private residences with social housing coexisting blindly to solve a lot of our housing problems. So thank you very much. Thanks.
That's like half the audience got up on stage. A massive congratulations and the incredible work that Nightingale team do, and an incredibly well-deserved award. So well done, Jeremy and Claire. Our next category is the Enduring Architecture Awards. So to present this, please welcome to the stage, or please welcome back to the stage, our Victorian Chapter President, David Wagner.
Thank you. Good evening. In a few minutes, we shall welcome the partner. Could you have some quiet, please? We shall welcome the partner of this category, the City of Melbourne, to reveal this year's winner. But before we do, I have the privilege of announcing that following an extensive consultation, the Victorian Chapter Council, the National Council, have approved a new naming order for the Victorian Awards. Now, these don't happen very often, in fact, very seldom, and it's only fitting that this award, given to a building of at least 25 years of age, which has stood the test of time, should be named after a member whose contributions to the profession and the Institute are indeed enduring. I'm delighted to announce this award will now be known as the Maggie Edmond Enduring Architecture Award.
A principal at the nationally acclaimed Edmond and Corrigan, Maggie Edmond has been one of the nation's most distinguished architects for 5 decades. The firm was the recipient of Victoria's first Enduring Architecture Award for the Chapel of St Joseph, just one of countless honours bestowed over the years. The practice won the Victorian Architecture Medal in 1989 for Stage 3 of Dandenong College of TAFE, and again in 1995 in association with Domain Partnership for RMIT Building 8. Whether as teacher, deputy chancellor, juror, board member or life fellow, Maggie has been an inspiring mentor to students and emerging architects, as well as a consistent and tireless champion of the profession. Indeed, it's fitting that this outstanding and enduring legacy of service, design excellence and achievement should be forever associated with the Victorian Enduring Architecture Award. Congratulations, Maggie.
A great honour has been bestowed upon me this evening. I wish to thank the Institute of Architects, its National Council, and the Victorian Chapter Council for this amazing recognition. 20 years ago, in 2003, at the Victorian Architecture Awards, Edmund and Corrigan's Chapel of St Joseph in Surrey Hills was the very first recipient of the Enduring Architecture Award. Built for the Catholic diocese in an outlying parish of Melbourne in the 1970s, it served as a house of worship in an outlying parish of Melbourne. It served as a house of worship in particular for the adjoining aged housing community. Due to declining attendances, it was recently decommissioned and sold to the local municipal council. With no visible change, the building now functions as a branch of the University of the Third Age, with community participation in overdrive. The Enduring Architecture Award has resulted in an extraordinarily rich group of buildings which celebrate and mark not only excellence in design, but make a significant contribution to an understanding of the importance of architecture. Paul Goldberger, architecture critic for The New Yorker, said in his book, Why Architecture Matters, that a city resonates with the layers of time it reveals through its buildings. Recent prescribed viewing for all architects is Tim Ross's Designing a Legacy, now showing on the ABC. We should be entitled to CPD points for watching both episodes. My thanks also go to Matthew and Melanie Corrigan and John Gollings, all here tonight, and to Chloe, Bruce, Sophie and Anthony, family members who are all walking the walk. To be associated for posterity with this award is a dream come true, one which would have my late partner Peter Corrigan champing at the bit. But I won't have to play too hard to get the Maggie Edmund Enduring Architecture Award through to the keeper. Thank you, David.
Right, now, thank you, Maggie, and congratulations on that well-deserved honour. Please welcome to the stage Nicholas Rees, Deputy Lord Mayor of the City of Melbourne.
Thank you very much. I am Nicholas Rees, Deputy Lord Mayor of Melbourne. I also have the role at the City of Melbourne of being the chair of the planning portfolio. So I have the great honour and the pleasure of judging, assessing many of your great works over the course of my working life. So please feel free to talk through my speech. We'll be getting your names down, and that won't affect your applications in any way, I promise. I do want to just say something on behalf of the City of Melbourne, and that is that to the architects and the designers here in this room, that at the City, we have got your back. We passionately believe in good design and good architecture. There's nothing we like saying more to somebody walking in our door with a development idea than you need to go and see a good architect. Thank you very much. Good design is in the DNA of Melbourne, and we have a dream at the City of Melbourne where Melbourne, we're not as old as many of the cities in the old world, but we do think we've got an architectural legacy that we can be very proud of. If you think of cities like Helsinki or Venice or Barcelona or Hydra, these are cities, when you say their name, the first thing that comes to mind is good architecture and good design. In Melbourne, we don't have that history, but we have a future that I think is brighter than those cities, and we have a city, given the talent of people here in this room, where we too will be, and I think are, one of the great design cities in the world. So I want to pay tribute to all of you here tonight. The City of Melbourne is sponsoring the Enduring Architecture Award, and this is one of the things about good architecture and design. It stands the test of time. You can look at a beautifully designed building, a well-designed building, 20, 50, 100 years old, and it still pops. It still says something to you about the quality and capability of good architecture and good design. So we're absolutely delighted to be able to present this award. The City of Melbourne is proud to support the Victorian Architecture Awards, and this particular award, open to buildings, which I should have specified, are at least 25 years of age. This award recognises the achievement for the design of buildings of outstanding merit, which remain important as high-quality works of architecture when considered in a contemporary context. This year's award goes to a very special project that, since its opening in 1990, has become a powerful symbol of the many ways in which architecture can be a productive tool of reconciliation. It's pleasingly more common these days to hear about buildings and projects which are co-designed with Indigenous people. But this is a project which 25 years ago was breaking new ground in that respect. And the winner of the Enduring Architecture Award is Bramble, the National Park and Cultural Centre by Gregory Birch's Architects. Well done, Greg.
Bramble National Park and Cultural Centre has been a vital cultural focus for the surrounding communities of the Jadawajali and Jabwurrung people for more than 30 years. The centre was designed by Gregory Burgess, who met and worked together with the local people and camped on site to sketch the building's general form. Since its opening in 1990, Bramble has become a powerful symbol of the many ways in which architecture might be a productive tool of reconciliation. Today, for its visitors and its communities, Bramble continues to speak convincingly across cultures, landscapes and time.
I'm just going to nod in the direction of Bramble. Sometimes we are invited to join a project that changes our lives. Brambuck is one of those projects. It began with a gathering in the valley near the site under a starry autumn night sky, framed by the rocky ridges of Garryword. There was much feasting and drinking, laughing, dancing, and storytelling around a big campfire. As the fire died in the darkness, old memories surfaced. The intergenerational trauma of enforced separation, of genocide, racism, abuse, and self-doubt. Men weeping with inner pain and deep anguish. There was also the warmth of dry humour and courageous enduring together. These shared experiences established creative trust to evolve the design together over the following 18 months. The building, red, resonating in green, centred around a huge stone fireplace, and is animated by the stories of its 5 communities. It also holds in its buckling and lifting, its arcs and its shadows, a sense of both the burden of suffering and the energy of transformation. Brambuck opened 33 years ago today, this year. Its seeds go back close to 40 years, 2 generations. Much has changed. We are now looking at voice and treaty, and as Stan Grant in his recent book reminds us, the Queen is dead. It's time to face our history, to reimagine who we are, to continue to seek reconciliation and healing within our common humanity. In accepting this award on behalf of the communities, Parks Victoria, and our own team, I would suggest that enduring architecture is not frozen in time. Brambuck is currently in its own process of regeneration to meet the needs and spirit of this time and of the future. Like ourselves and our nation, our buildings are works in progress. Thank you.
Congratulations, Gregory Burgess Architects. Now, it's my honour to announce a second and final new naming honour for the Victorian Awards this evening. As we consulted with key committees for these new honours, 2 names were consistently put forward. Maggie's and that of our second honoree. She is someone who has made a lasting and significant contribution to the profession, to architecture in this state, and especially the City of Melbourne, and indeed to the Institute. I'm delighted to announce the Melbourne Prize will now be known as the Dimity Reid Melbourne Prize.
Dimity Reid's career of exemplary service to architecture and urban design has greatly enriched the built environment of Victoria and beyond. As Commissioner of Housing in the late 70s and early 80s, Dimity advanced new approaches to long-standing problems in public housing. A key figure in the Women in Architecture movement, Dimity became the first female president of the Institute's Victorian chapter in 1984 and has been a tireless teacher and mentor of emerging architects. Across a variety of roles, Dimity has contributed to a range of projects, including revitalisation of Dandenong, Viv's Place, a residence for women and children fleeing violence, the Shrine of Remembrance, and the Pride Centre. Over many decades, both inside and outside government, Dimity has been a key champion of Melbourne's urban design future, and so it is fitting that this distinguished and lasting legacy of service and achievement should be forever associated with the Melbourne Prize. Congratulations, Dimity.
Thank you. I am stunned and amazed at the honour the Institute has given me, and I thank you for it. I was introduced to architecture when I was about 4. I didn't grow much. My father had returned from the war, and we had come back from New South Wales to live with my grandmother in South Melbourne. One day my mother bundled my brothers and me onto a tram and took us to Griffin and Marnie's Capitol Theatre in Swanston Street. Filled with a quiet awe, she waved her arms around, enveloping the space, and said, "This is architecture." The words and the idea stayed with me. My years as a very recalcitrant architecture student at Melbourne University was where I met the friends who remain part of our lives today, where every year in 3rd term, there was a sense in the ether that university life required some concentration. In mild deference to this, we gathered together each lunchtime on a lawn sprinkled with leaf shadows to think about what really needed to be written, drawn, or understood. We shared the work out according to talents and energies, and then drifted back to the old tin shed that was the architecture school. Those spring lunchtimes on the lawn remain in my memory still, and each September in Melbourne, as the buds burst, a small pang of nostalgia for those hours touches me. Oh, look, I've been given 120 seconds to congratulate all of you, every one of you, for all the solutions you search for and every thought you put into a building or place or everything you complete. The gods are with you. I congratulate all tonight's winners. It's always glorious to win after the agony and the exhilaration of making the building or the place, to be followed by the desperate days and weeks between putting it in for an award and the actual announcement. And now I commiserate with all of those who didn't get the Golden Globes. The competition's incredible, but there's always next year. My congratulations to everybody. It's a wonderful art that you're committed to. Now I think we'll take a look at this year's shortlisted projects.
The Dimity Reid Melbourne Prize. Darebin Intercultural Centre by Sibling Architecture. Melbourne Holocaust Museum by Kirsten Thompson Architects. Nightingale Village by Architecture, Austin Maynard Architects, Breathe, Claire Cousins Architects, Havel and Kennedy Nolan. University of Melbourne Student Precinct by Lions with Conning Eisenberg Architecture, NNBW Architecture Studio, Greenaway Architects, Architects Eat, Aspect Studios and Glass Urban. The Victorian Family Violence Memorial by Muir and Openwork. And Wirran Senior Campus by GHD Woodhead and Grimshaw.
We practiced for weeks, people.
Okay. I'm delighted to announce that the 2023 Dimity Reid Melbourne Prize goes to Nightingale Village.
Nightingale Village begins and ends with community. The collective of architects behind this project began their journey seeking to redefine the expectations of developers, architects, and of what it means to provide housing within this city. The joy in this project is the continual sharing and gifting of resources. A series of individual buildings, each with its own exceptional level of care and ingenuity, help to create a sense of vibrancy and diversity. However, the total worth of the whole is so much more than the sum of its individual parts, where overlapping vertical gardens, central voids full of light and life, pedestrian lanes and street parks allow the shared inhabitation of every corner. Nightingale Village is a powerful catalyst to build community and prioritise social, economic and environmental sustainability.
What these people have done is an extraordinary thing, and I think it's led the whole country in the way that you approach housing, and with such a skilled, look, they're unbelievable. Masses of wonderful human beings. Congratulations. So you're going to talk?
I'll keep it very short, but this is truly the biggest honour we could ever have imagined to win the Melbourne Prize. So on behalf of the very large team, we're truly honoured. Thank you to the jury and thank you to the Institute. I think the one thing I would just like to say is that we hope that a project like this can be a catalyst to show developers and other people making residential architecture, multi-residential architecture, what can be done differently. With regards from a sustainability inclusionary zoning, which, looking at you, Jill Garner, we've got to work hard, get that mandated across the state. So thank you very much, and we hope this can be a kind of exemplar to leverage, all of us to leverage with our developers moving forward. Thank you.
Congratulations to the Nightingale team. Isn't it lovely that we celebrate senior, experienced women in the architectural profession, like Maggie and like Dimity? Let's hear it for those ladies. There is no barrier for age, and it's just incredible to see their inspiring stories. So congratulations, ladies, and of course, congratulations to half the audience, or as I like to say, the Nightingale team. We're on our last award before we go to the final award. And our next category, our penultimate category, ladies and gentlemen, is the regional prize. To present this prize, please welcome the sponsor of this category, Hames Paint, representing Hames Paint, the National Specification Manager, Teresa Waters. There you go. Oh, I'll bring this down for you.
Thank you. Hello and good evening. Hames Paint is proud to support the Victorian Architecture Award, and as a company based in regional Victoria, we are particularly proud to support the regional prize. Here are this year's shortlisted projects.
Regional Prize. Bendigo Law Courts by Wardle. Budgebim Cultural Landscape by Cooper Scaife Architects. Cows Primary School by Project 12 Architecture. Delatite Cellar Door by Lucy Clemenger Architects. Gippsland Performing Arts Centre, Traralgon by Jackson Architecture and Katsieris Origami, Architects in Association. Levantine Hill Estate Winery by Fender Katsoulitis. Queenscliff Ferry Terminal by F2 Architecture. And Warrnambool Library and Learning Centre by Kosloff Architecture.
And it is my honour to announce the regional prize, Warrnambool Library and Learning Centre, Kosloff Architecture.
This centre springs from the passionate and collaborative vision of client, community and architect. Exceptionally detailed and beautifully crafted, the design skillfully combines both a strong civic engagement with a quiet personal experience. Building on the heritage narrative, the richly layered design is imbued with resonance and joy, becoming a welcoming and engaging living room for the campus and community. Championing learning and education for all ages, the Warrnambool Library and Learning Centre is an inspiring new regional hub of vision and excellence that has lifted the aspirations of the city and region.
Well, clearly we were prepared for this. Not at all. Thank you to the Institute, thank you to the jury, thank you to our clients, Southwest TAFE, DET and of course Warrnambool City Council. I think these sort of regional projects are very interesting and really important, and we've loved working on this project. I think that's it. Thank you.
Congratulations, Kosloff Architecture. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have made it to the final announcement of the evening. Not only is it the final announcement, it is also the highest honour that we present in the annual Architecture Awards, and of course that is the Victorian Architecture Medal. To present it, it gives me an incredible amount of pleasure to welcome to the stage the Victorian Government Architect, the wonderful Jill Garner.
Okay, let me find where we're up to. Good evening, everyone. The Government Architect's Office is really proud to support the Victorian Architecture Medal. There's been more than 70 projects that have been recognised tonight, And that is an incredible testament to the strength of the profession in Victoria. There's been some incredible projects that we've seen tonight. Dating back to 1929, the Architecture Medal is the highest honour in the Victorian Awards, given to a building of exceptional merit. It's selected in a meeting of all the jury chairs and from 14 categories that you've seen tonight and all the winners that you've seen this evening already. So it's my honour to be given the task to announce the 2023 Victorian Architecture Medal. Okay, I'm going to invite another large group of people back to the stage. It's going to the University of Melbourne Student Precinct by Lyon Architects with Koenig Eisenberg, NMBW, Greenaway Architects, Architects EAT, and Aspect Studios and Glas Urban. Fantastic. Kerry, if you can gather the troops together and bring them back on stage.
This transformative project demonstrates the power of design to influence and direct behaviour, mood and receptivity. It reveals itself via direct engagement and evolving familiarity. A deep understanding of human social dynamics is evidenced in the way the spaces are curated to relate to one another. Edges are holding and gently dissolving. Sightlines are connecting across the vertical as well as horizontal dimensions. The masterstroke is regrounding the precinct to its original terrain, about which a curated set of habitats is constellated. This reclaiming of the underground stream lies at the heart of the development. The solution clearly reflects a mature and sophisticated co-design process. It is student-centred, champions the art of listening, and has offered many voices their harmonised place in the whole. It is a model for both pragmatic and symbolic inclusion.
Hi everyone, just sorting out our speeches, master ceremony. Can we make a long speech? Only joking. Even when you've been in this game for a long time, it is an absolute privilege when your peers judge your work in this way and give you such an award. So it is an honour on behalf of the entire team to say thank you to the juries, the chairs of the juries. And again, another big thank you to our client, the University of Melbourne. I said in my earlier speech, it takes a bit of courage for the university to spend a lot of money just on their students. There's no income coming back to the university from a project like this. And to be able to do a project that's a bit complicated, it's definitely not whatever that jury citation was, a simplicity being a journey towards complexity. It's just straight out complexity, I'll be honest. But to be able to create a space that, you know, generations of students will come through that university, hopefully be a little bit inspired by the culture that the precinct creates to us, is a real privilege as architects, and we're very grateful to the juries for recognising that. And I think Nigel's going to say a few words as well.
Thanks, Kerry. Thank you. I'd just like to add that in terms of the University of Melbourne, their foundational work before we even started the project, the Reconciliation Action Plan, I think in its third generation, a place-based Reconciliation Action Plan was the groundwork for what we did. And the master plan, we need to acknowledge Jackson Clements Burrows, who were part of that early work in rethinking the whole terrain and their commitment to really meaningful embodiment of reconciliation principles within the physical territory of the campus. Also the understanding of working with sort of new buildings and heritage adaptive reuse all mixed together, and the student-led co-creation processes. All of these things were happening for years before the architectural team even came on board. And I think we really need to acknowledge their hard work in generating the preconditions of the project that we inherited and were very fortunate to realise. So, thank you.
Thanks, Jill, and huge congratulations to the University of Melbourne Student Precinct on the top gong of the evening. That is it, folks. We are done. Our awards are over. I'm going to say a couple of things. I want every commendation recipient, every award winner, every named award winner to stand up. I want everyone that's received an award to get out of their chair and stand up. And I want everyone to look around and have a look at the talent that we have here in Victoria. Give everyone a great round of applause. All our winners tonight, ladies and gentlemen.